You guys want to watch Power Rangers?
Oh, no.
Only if we watch every single one.
No!
Welcome back to Powering Through. Today we've got episodes 28 and 29, Island of Illusion, Part 1 and 2.
I'm back, baby.
Oh my
What's
God,
going
We
on?
got Danny six
It's so
episodes later.
It's so great to be here again with cherished friends that will replace me with a moment's notice.
Goodness gracious.
Hey, we gotta get a guy sometimes.
So we're at the juice bar. Zach is dancing. He's practicing for a dance competition that's coming up. And Bulk says,
Yeah, he says you're gonna blow it, and then Zach does like a spin move about 6 feet away from Kimberly, and she just gets so scared she throws her juice in.
And it's like a pink slime drink. Yeah, but it is the consistency was like, yeah, it was weird. It just goes straight
And
up.
then Bulk gets super mad at Zach and then walks towards him, and we just cut. That's it.
Yeah, he says, like, I'm going to beat you at the dance contest.
Well, no.
That's my eyebrow.
There was a moment before that. Josh was like, "Why are there 5 paper mache pillars in the background?"
Oh yes, we cut,
Immediately-
we cut to Bulk trying to dance the same way Zach does.
Yeah.
They do like back and forth. I don't get why he's a bully in this scenario. Like every scene he's in, he gets juice on him,
Yeah.
and then he just tries to outdance someone.
It's just the stigma he's got.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't exist in a vacuum.
All right.
Tries to dance. He falls to the pillar.
And then there's an earthquake.
Yeah, Rita goes, I'm going to call on the power of Lokar and Titus.
Lokar.
Yeah.
So it's like this blue Japanese guy with like spiky hair.
Yes.
Only his face appears. I don't know how he's the villain of this episode. What is?
But she sends a thunderstorm down to just all of planet Earth. Or maybe just...
No, it's just Angel.
She targets Angel. You would think the government would quarantine this town.
Yeah.
They would know every time.
Yeah. And an earthquake happens. Tommy's... He's
training
teaching some
two
kids.
little kids.
Yeah. And he's like, oh, I got to stay with the kids. And then the rest of the Rangers leave.
They go to fight.
Yeah. Well, they go to try and find Zach because Zach left because he's so depressed because he's so bad at dancing.
Yeah.
But there's
No,
no
he's
one who
not.
can compete with no dancing. He just saw his only. Well, I guess that's getting far ahead, but the only person he has to compete with is
True.
And immediately when the earthquake happens, they're all like, "It's Rita,
Yeah.
California."
Still very logical.
Yeah.
I guess.
You're wrong. You're right.
And so the 5 Rangers get attacked by putties and start kicking butt. And Kimberly does like a split kick on some putties.
I will say the sound editing in that fight is the worst we've seen in the entire show. They put like different cues and themes in her every like 2-second like cut.
Yeah.
It's so jarring and horrible.
And so Rita already has summoned Lokar, who is like a bizarre face, but she also summons Titus. She's got a 2-for-1 today. She got a coupon.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's disgusting. He's a skull monster with
A
like
bolt.
what looks like if you rip the skin off of a person.
Yes.
He's not Clay. She just called upon him.
Yeah.
So Rita is up on the moon, but also sometimes she's on a balcony.
Yeah.
Teleport.
But the whole episode, she's going back and forth and like talking to this glowing skeleton, and that has some play into how she somehow does that.
Yeah.
She casts a spell.
We don't know if
And I don't
Car's
think
doing
I
the
saw.
summoning.
I don't think I saw Finster at all this episode.
No.
Finster and Babu are just in the back and Squat.
Yes.
Oh no Finster, you're right. I bet she laid him off.
Yeah.
Oh.
He didn't do it. He hasn't succeeded at all in
Yeah.
his creations.
Yeah, they're fighting Titus. They call Tommy and they're like, "Hey, we need help." So he comes
Yeah.
and the Dragon Zord.
They call Tommy, and he's there watching the kids with Ernie. And Ernie is like, just kind of like mopping up and gluing a plate back together.
Yeah.
And Tommy's like, hey, can you watch these kids? And he's like, yeah, of course I own this place. And he goes, hey, kids, listen to Ernie now.
Yeah,
It's like 40.
Ernie barely looks up. He's like, yeah. So they like fuse the bad guys. They put like a weird dragon skull head on the already skull head
Oh,
guy.
That's what
Lokar.
Lokar's breath does.
Yeah.
Mutatus, and Mutatus becomes like a creature out of the thing.
Yeah.
Lokar, he's the ability to like buff and like experts.
He's
like
one.
support
He's just a
guy.
man in the sky.
And now he has a dragon's neck and head coming
with a little bit of blue
Yeah.
shards of
Yeah.
ice. Oh, so they immediately Zord up, and then they Dragon Zord, and the second they're finished morphing, they're just gonna flail to the face from it's like bonk.
And so they get toxic foam spewed on them. Jason says, like, not the toxic foam, that
I've
hurts.
seen this before.
And so the Zords are down. They fall out of the Zords again. And Up until this point, I'm thinking, okay, episode's titled Island of Illusion. I'm thinking the way it's going to work is like, first 15 minutes of the episode, we're all in illusion. It's all in their heads. There's going to be a big reveal, then they fight.
Yeah, it's not that.
No.
Oh, like the one with the troll and Trini's dream.
Exactly.
Was it creepy?
Exactly. Something like that.
Yeah.
They actually fall out of the swords, and Rita says, all right, time for you to go to the Island of Illusion. They fall onto a tiny little island that's like an alternate dimension, and they wake up on a tree.
Unmorphed. They lost their crystals.
They have
no coins.
No coins. Wait. So the coins let them morph. They put it in a thing and morph.
Correct.
The crystals let them control the Zords.
Correct.
They don't use the crystals every time.
Well, I think that's sort of implied.
Yeah.
And then the communicator lets them talk to Zordon.
Yes. Yeah. Which Zordon cannot talk to them on this island for some reason because it's in a different dimension. And I was
think
like, oh no.
Did Lokar make this?
I believe that's
Can Rita
the
just do
implication.
this?
Yeah. Zordon says at some point in the episode, he's like, oh, Rita's using a force that I haven't seen before.
And so Goldar has a connection to this island because he can appear in that sky.
Yeah.
So
He's a narrative guy.
Yes, they appear on the island. They look around and like, oh, recognize this place. There's no Hulkamaniacs here. And Kimberly says, scary.
Yeah.
Scary.
When they wake up, they're like, Zach gets up and I think Billy's like, we appear to be intact. Zach says, not quite intact. And they show his hand with 4 fingers, which we knew he has 4 fingers, but it's kind of like the way they portray it.
It's called them not having their communicators and PowerPoints, but it looks like he's
Tries to lost 1 finger. And they keep walking, and Zach's like, I thought I saw something. And then they hear something like terrible flute music.
Yes.
And then they walk over to this guy, and he's just like a green man.
A small guy, He's like Peter Pan Squire playing the flute,
Yeah.
talking in riddles.
And he
Seems to rhyme.
Yeah.
Bad rhymes.
And-
He's rhyming like the same word. They're like calling him like Quasimodo.
Yeah, they can't remember his name. It's like a running joke or something.
And so Goldar, he projects his face in the sky and he's like, ha ha ha, illusion. An octopus eye guy and another one.
They charge at him, and then like when they're 1 foot away.
Was that just Goldar being like, I can mess with your mind?
Yeah. And they're like, what kind of place is this? And Goldar just answers honestly. He goes, it's a place with illusions in it and nothing's real.
He didn't say that one line, they would have had him beat. They would have thought everything they encountered here on out was real.
Goldar gets back, he's like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said
Zach starts walking away from the group a little bit. He's like, oh man, I don't know how to handle this. And he turns, and there is a snake on a tree branch.
just a regular sized
He
snake.
goes, ah! And clearly told him this might be the freeze frame to end the episode because he stays still screaming for about 15 seconds.
It's all-time bad acting.
And so Zach's like not confident, and he's freaking out about this snake, and then he just starts disappearing.
He says,
I hate snake.
He says, I don't feel so good.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Marvel stole this one.
Yeah. They saw
And he
great there.
starts disappearing from the feet up.
Yep.
And it gets to like his neck, and Quagmire shows up and says, if Rita makes you down in feet, it makes your body disappear. And that's how the first episode ends. That's
That was
a crazy episode right there.
so how do we start off the next one?
Billy says, it would appear that your body is decomposing in front of me.
I hate him in this one.
Yeah, Trini's doing like translating for him this entire episode. He's like, your underconfidence level is inverse with the way you're disappearing.
It's like in English.
He's like, you don't feel good about yourself, so you're disappearing. That's it. That's all it is.
He can speak without like this techno babble.
And so they like, oh my god, wait, what did Quagmire say? And Quagmire shows back up, and he's like, just think about a time when you were a cool dude. And Zach goes, okay, let me think about that time I got hit in the nuts.
There's just a montage of him getting blasted. He's like, yeah, I did well.
Yeah, Zach thinks about the fight that he won, and he comes back, and everybody's like, "Oh, cool, Zach! God, nice job,
Little
awesome."
do we know we got to go through this 5 more times.
Yeah.
And then it's Kimberly's turn, and she turns and she sees Bulk and Skull in little like fairy outfits,
Angel
outfits, and they're being nice to this little turtle, and it's insane because Kimberly looks at this and goes, "Oh my god." Rita can make Bulk and Skull be nice. If she can do that, she can do anything.
Is the fact that her preconceived notion of these two guys like existing in her mind as just being bullies It shattered. Like, it shatters her psyche. And that's too much for her. Then she remembers the time she won. She's like, oh man, the toad I fought.
Yeah.
I gotta say, great kill on that toad.
That was
Yeah.
best moment.
Yeah.
When everyone else was kind of taken out of the fight.
Yeah.
He shot it.
So she's back, and now I believe this might have happened before her, but regardless, Billy says, I believe from my calculations, our power points, there is a 98% chance they are in this direction. What the f- are you talking about?
How?
Yeah.
What?
He's like licks his thumb and does a
He looks at Tommy, he's looking at his palm and like putting his finger to it. Like,
I've been here for 20 minutes.
Me and Zach said, like, oh, we've searched half the island already. Like, have you? We haven't seen that at all.
also, he was wrong because there's no direction out of here. They just gotta all solve their mental issues. What calculation could he have possibly done? There's no star to like look the direction.
And so now we move to Tommy, and his greatest fear is 5 putties. He hallucinates that the 5 other members of the group are putties,
Yeah.
but
He fights 5 putties every episode.
He's looking at him. He's like, I'll take you all on. And they're all like, God, Tommy, no, it's us. It's us. And then he goes, there's too many of them. And then,
Literally, like 2 episodes ago, like 5 putties tied into a tree, and he made his way out.
Yeah. And so he gets through that. Quagmire tells him, don't let Rita steer you wrong. Think strong thoughts. You be strong.
yeah. And he thinks strong thoughts. He comes back. And they're like, oh, you didn't disappear. Nice. Awesome. He's like, yeah, I wasn't scared. Yes, you were.
Yes, you were.
Yes, you were.
And in his flashback, he was fighting 2 putties.
Yep.
Yeah.
He just remembered that he fought less putties. This one gets a little crazy. It's Trini's turn. She sits down and starts fading, and they're like, what are you seeing? And she's like, I'm just afraid Rita's coming after me.
No one else has that, like, you know, foresight. Like, everyone else is like walking like happy, like, it's not gonna happen to me. Nothing.
And so she sees, I think it's from like episode 2 or 3, Billy's like up on a cliff, and she's afraid that he's gonna fall from a great height.
Yeah.
She helps him. She's back.
And then it's Billy's turn.
Yes.
And
Madam Woe.
he sees Madam Woe. He's like,
right.
oh, yeah, I remember that. That was pretty cool during that. And he gets back.
Flashback is also him getting his ass kicked.
It's just one time.
But that episode is when he got all the powers from everyone.
Yes.
That was a great Billy moment.
The episode is like almost a clip show.
Yeah.
It's a flashback show, but it's not a clip show.
Like, some moments are like Kim and Billy whooping up on the monster alone.
Mhm.
Trini was just like watching one putty like commit suicide. They're not very, I guess people are different.
And so Billy comes back, and Jason's like, all right, sweet, now it's time to get off this island. And then Goldar goes, there's no way. And Jason turns around and goes, oh, right.
How can you be? All 5 of your friends went through their little trauma, and you think you're the main character. You think you're
Yeah. And so what he sees is everybody else disappearing. And he's like, oh, no, I let everybody down. Oh. And then he remembers episode 1, the Sphinx.
King Sphinx.
Yeah.
He remembers he doesn't need them.
Yeah, it flip-flopped so quickly for me because he sees all of them disappearing. I'm like, oh, that's like a really good twist on it. Like his fear is that he's not enough for his
him anyway.
Yeah.
And then it flip-flops so quickly.
Yeah.
Because the way he gets out of it is he doesn't think of any of them.
Yeah.
Like, I beat this monster by myself.
Like, it would be great if like his like happy thought was like them having like smoothies. It's not even fight related. It's just the power.
We know who Jason is.
No way, man.
Yeah. So Jason comes back. He's like, man, I'm so cool. And then bada bing, bada boom, the
Breaks the
coins
curve.
are back.
Yeah.
And the transponders are back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lokar, a little ineffective.
Yeah.
A little
And
ineffective.
Goldar never told them that this was an island of illusion. He
blew it, yeah.
He blew it, I think.
And so at this point, Rita's like, all right, screw it. I'm just going to blow up the island. And it's like, dude, do that from the start.
While they're in the hallucinations, you should have been shaking it in earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they summon the Zords, and I'm thinking, how are the Zords getting here? Because like, normally they are on Earth, the Zords are on Earth, they pull them out of the volcano, the earthquake, blah, 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 blah. How? So now they have to come from Earth, in the volcano, in the jungle, to the moon, into Rita's hands.
They just turn into blurred colors and fly in the air.
That's more than certain.
They do.
And so they do that, and they have a new form where it's the Megazord,
Yes.
but he has the top half of the Dragon Zord on him like armor.
It's like usually when they combine with the Dragon Zord, the 2 of them sit out.
Yes.
The Tyrannosaurus and the
Yeah. Yeah, it's like in the Michael Bay Transformers movies when Optimus gets those like jet engines on his back.
Puts them on the back.
Yeah. It's like they call him the Mega Dragon Zord.
And they want Titanus on top of that.
Yeah, so
Like a little more.
they hit a move called the Z Blast. That I might have made that up. They hit a move where a big letter Z shows up.
Like a Dragon Ball appears. I think
falls down.
from Sentai, it's like the Z Rangers with their calls.
Yes, that must
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
But it's probably some artifact of
Yeah, so they blow him up and they send Titus to hell?
Mutitus.
Mutitus
Titus
to hell.
and Lokar. He disappears like Team Rocket.
Yeah, Lokar just goes away.
Lokar's just like, oh, I should get out of here.
Yeah.
They might be
They just hit him with the huge artillery barrage,
Yes.
like the Titanus. That's what he's good for.
Yeah. And then Rita's like, damn, it didn't work. And it's like, well, if you were smart about it, it would have.
Should have fixed
Probably,
it on top.
I need an aspirin again or something.
Yep. And so we're back. That is the end of the Power Rangers. And now they go back to the
juice
content.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Yes.
I'm steering it wrong.
You gotta go back to the juice
It always
bar.
ends in the juice.
Yeah.
As one ended, not in the juice bar.
So Bulk is dancing,
Mhm.
and he's all right. He's all right.
I'll say this: without Bulk, there would be no competition at this school.
That's what I'm saying.
The ninja competition,
Finals.
they wouldn't have had a competitor, any competition at all,
Yeah.
if there was
You're
no
right,
ninjas
yeah.
that he managed,
Yeah.
and there would be no dance
So
competition.
Bulk is dancing. He falls down. Skull starts dancing. He jumps over him.
Yeah,
The judges give Bulk a -3.
that's just mean.
And they write it in.
How is that printed?
He's a kid. He's in high school, and you're gonna give him a negative score?
Yeah. And so then Zach starts dancing, and of course he's amazing at dancing. And Jason goes, cool beats. I wonder who the DJ is. And Kimberly looks over and she goes, hey, look, it's Quash.
She's the worst. He saved your lives.
One other note I didn't know is that Jason's not wearing red. He's got a blue dress shirt on.
Oh, that's right.
That's
So
the only.
we're never gonna know what Quagmire is, where he comes from, why they freed him. Was he a normal guy?
Yeah, she blew up the island.
That's not even him. That's a regular guy.
He just happens to look like him.
Yeah.
Kim just thinks they all look.
So yeah, the episode ends on just, wow, Kimberly sucks.
Come on.
She's dressed like the One Piece guy in this episode.
Oh, dude, it's good to have you back.
It's good to
We'll
be.
have you for a few more.
Yes,
It's really funny if you're just gone again.
All right. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.